You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2022, the Christmas album. Dad, shimmy shimmy, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Peace! How are you guys doing? Okay, so, little background story to this video. Are you dancing dreamily to the music of my singing? You love my singing so much, don't you?
It's magical.
So, we are in Southern California. This is my husband, Alex. Say hello, Alex.
What's up?
And he had a work conference this weekend. So I haven't traveled in almost a year. So he was like, why don't you just come out here for a little mini vacation and get away for a little bit? And I said, sure. It's been really, really nice. And so last night we went to dinner and we came back and we were sitting in the hotel bar. And just kind of, you know, he was having a little glass of wine, I was having a Dr. Pepper, and he said, are we going to do our traditional vacation video that we always do together? And I was like, if you want to. And I think there's like this misconception that whenever Alex is in a video, it's because I force him, but that's not true, is it? Alex, it was your idea to do this. Can you tell them?
I inquired about it.
He inquired. He was like, do you want to do the video? Because we always do a video like when we're out of town. And it was funny because quite a few people on my vlog asked, they said, are you and Alex going to do a video together? And so I was like,
It's on that OnlyFans. It's OnlyFans slash
nobody wants
puff feet.
feet. Nobody wants to see that. Okay. So anyway,
Pretty feet.
You have pretty feet. I have prettier feet, but I do.
Okay.
I do. But anyway, but nobody wants to pay for either one of our feet. Anyway, if they do, put it in the comment section below, and then
How much she would pay? So
how
we
much?
Can kind of create a menu.
This is going in the wrong direction. Business plan 2023, Pafeet. Okay, so anyway, we were sitting in the bar last night, so I put up a little thing on Instagram, and I just said, like, if we were going to do this, like, what questions would you guys want us to answer? This is probably, how many Q&As do you think we've done at this point?
It's our first one.
This is our very first one. We've never done a couples Q&A before. Now, we've literally, at this point, probably done 15 or 20 of them, and a lot of people have actually requested for you to be in review videos with me. They're like, if you're gonna do videos with Alex, you should do like a crumble cookie review with him, or like a Starbucks review, which that would be fun. So we could do that. But anyway, so we're gonna try to, you know, do something and mix it up.
Can we do one with your Adam and Eve code?
We could do one with my Adam and Eve code. That should have been for this video. But anyway, okay, so I do have an Adam and Eve code. It's code Peter, and you get 50% off, but this video is not sponsored. That video will be later in the month. All right, let's get right into the questions on today's video. And many of the questions that I got, we've already answered in previous videos, like how did we meet, if we want kids or not, things like that. There's a lot of questions that we got that, I mean, we've answered them so many times at this point that it's like, we don't really need to talk about it again. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay. I don't really know. Okay, some of these questions like, share a travel destination on your bucket list, a place neither of you have never been before. Go ahead.
I want to go to Bali, and I want to go to Thailand, and I want to go to like Indonesia and like just like the Asian, like Pacific, like coast.
Yeah, that area all for us is like, I really want to go to Fiji and the Maldives are two areas that I really want to go to. I don't, you know, as far as like bucket list places of travel for me anymore, I don't have tons of places that I really, really want to go to. I mean, I think for both of us, fortunately, we've been able to travel quite a bit. So yeah. We have some places that we want to go to, and we have some plans for some places in the future. Okay, let's see. Would you and Alex ever get a cat?
No, I'm allergic.
Alex is allergic to cats. You know, I've had a lot of friends of mine that have cats. I think kittens are cute. I think cats are whatever. I just don't have like any, like when friends of mine have cats, it's like, oh, there's your cat, it's nice and whatever. Like my cousin Caroline, she had this cat named Gail. I think it was like 42 when it passed away finally or something like that.
What would you call it?
What do you mean, what did they call it?
What would you call a cat if you got a cat?
Puss, of course. But I mean, like, you know, here's the thing. Pickles, the fire cat. I used to love that book when I was a little kid. But the thing is that I just, like, I love dogs and puppies so much that, you know, that I would always get a dog before I would get a cat. And I'm allergic to cats, too. I'm not as allergic as he is. I mean, he walks into a house that has cats, and he's like, he has to take, like, a Benadryl before he goes in and stuff like that. So it's bad. Okay, thoughts on monogamy? Interesting question.
Great.
Great.
It works.
It works. I mean, we're in a monogamous relationship. I think, you know, like, it's interesting because I see these videos, you know, from, like, gay couples online, and they'll do, like, a video and they'll call it, like, an open relationship or something like that, right? But then when you watch the video, it's like they're not in an open relationship, but I think they're afraid to come out and really tell their experiences of, like, why they choose monogamy over an open relationship or something. I've always wanted to be in a monogamous relationship. I've always believed in monogamy. And in fact...
Would you say monogamy is like a throuple? It's just the three of them?
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's however you define it, I guess.
Or a four.
I mean, then you're starting to kind of, like, press the boundaries of it.
I mean it's just only the four?
This is the thing for me, is like, okay, years ago when Dan Savage came out and he said, who is the originator of the It Gets Better project, and he came out and he said that monogamy is not, like, a realistic thing for gay people. Like, I took real issue with that because it's like, okay, you know, we want as LGBTQ community for people to accept us in all communities, but then it's like, oh, we're going to say that monogamy doesn't apply to us and whatever, you know? I've always been somebody that's wanted monogamy. We're in a monogamous relationship. Here's my thing on open relationships. You do you, boo. I've known people that are on open relationships. They aren't together today. I don't know people where it works long term to be in an open relationship for them. I've known maybe one. So that's just, and that's just how it is for me. You know, we got a couple questions in here about jealousy. I'm not like a super jealous person. You think I am?
Not a super jealous person.
I mean, sure, but like I couldn't, like, I wouldn't want to, like, share him and, you know, be know that he was, like, going to, you know, like, hook up with somebody and be like, okay, well, I guess I'll be watching, you know, Wednesday Addams on TV while you go hook up tonight. I mean, I couldn't do that. That's not who I am as a person, and that's just me, you know, but, I mean, I don't judge anybody that wants to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. I mean, we had friends of ours, heterosexual couple, they were very open, and they shared the details of their relationship with us on quite a regular basis until Alex finally put the husband in his place one day and said, you know what, we don't need to know those details of that. And
so they're still together. So
they're still together, so it works for them apparently. So anyway, okay.
So you do know someone.
I do know someone, that's true. Okay, so perfect date night. Lots of dinners out, but Alex doesn't really consider that a date night.
No, because we don't cook. So, like, I mean, it's just basically dinner because, you know, we don't cook. But I think a perfect date night is doing something, like, together, like going to, like, a concert or, like, going to a show, like, you know, I don't know. Something
that you would normally do.
Yeah, yeah. Or, like, when we're, like, on a trip and we walk around and, like, find a new place, like, and explore. I think, like, that's a nice, cute little bonding. I guess, like, for me, the definition of date is just, like, doing something that, like, just kind of connects you and, like, builds some type of bond with the person. So, you know, like, going to dinner, like, across the street from where we live, it's not necessarily building a bond, but when we do that in another city and we're exploring and, like, finding new things and, like, learning new things, I find that to be date-like-ish.
Yeah, especially when we do that, like, 3 nights a week. Like going out to dinner. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I love traveling with him And I think we travel so well together is because we love exploring like new things and new places together. So, and it's fun for us. So
In our bodies.
And our bodies, exactly, and our bodies. Okay, 3 self-care products you couldn't live without. Now you're the one that's more into this kind of stuff, so I thought this would be interesting for you.
Well, for my skin, I really like the Elastin skincare line.
Give me a little bit of your coffee.
And I really love their products. But a specific product that everybody should have and I can live without is like retinol. I mean, everyone should use retinol, especially men. It's just like really good for your skin. He definitely does it, as you can see.
You're such
and also hair care products. I use Diva Girl for my hair. So that's 2. And then coffee.
It was funny because several years ago with all of the like controversy over Diva hair, I came home and I said something to him about it. I was like, you know, there's like all this controversy over Diva hair and whatever. And he was like, they're fantastic products. He was like, I love them. I swear by them. So,
yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite holiday tradition to do together?
Which holiday?
Let's say Christmas.
Well,
Let's go Halloween first.
Halloween. Me make plans and you stay home.
That is such BS. See, that's where you feed the haters.
Hey, we gotta keep people talking.
I know, we gotta keep people talking. I mean, we do the same thing for Halloween every year.
Yeah, so we usually go to Peter's cousin's house for some type of like candy dinner hangout, and then we end up the night at our couple's best friends, Jason and Melissa, for like chili and like some type of TV show. In the past, it used to be Rosie and Halloween's, but then like we just been watching like different things here and there.
What did we watch this year? I think Halloween the movie.
I think so. She makes 3 types of chili. Chili normal.
Isn't this so nice?
And then chili without beans because one of our friends does not like beans. And then vegetarian chili because Peter only eats my meat.
And then she makes... True. And then she makes cornbread and she makes all this kind of stuff, and our friend Erin brought like this apple crisp this year. It was really fun. We have it's really fun. So anyway, and then Christmas, what's your favorite tradition?
Going around telling people that Santa is not real. That's so exciting.
Alex.
What? Well, spoiler alert.
I have to say, and I'm going to get my husband emotional for a second. So we were walking around downtown Disney last night, and we were walking through this hotel, and they had like this like big setup where you could go see Santa and stuff like that. And Alex was like, "Stop!" He was like, and I didn't know what he was talking about, and I was like, he was like, I can't believe this. I love this. You want to tell him what it was? Oh, get emotional. Let yourself feel it. They had a black Santa at downtown Disney last night, and Alex was really moved by that. You want to talk about why you were moved?
No.
We're just such believers that representation is so important, and to see that, you know, like, is just like, and it was so cool because there was a little girl that was on his lap, and you could just see, like, in her eyes, like, how much it meant to her. And I think sometimes, like, we don't think about, we didn't think we were going to get emotional in this video. I think sometimes we don't think about, like, what kids see, you know, and I can remember...
it's like they saw no difference.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, like, Santa to them, right? And then, like, I don't know, like, in, like, downtown Disney, California, right? Like, it's, like, where magic, I guess, was born. Like, the Disney magic was born. It was just, like, I don't know. It was very powerful for me.
And I think, like, I can remember, like, in listening to Ngozi Adichie, or Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who wrote the book Americana, and she's an amazing TED Talks on YouTube about the danger of I think it's called The Danger of a Single World or something like that. But anyway, And she talks about coming from Nigeria, and that when she was growing up, she would read books where there were just blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girls. And so when she would write about characters, she would write about characters that were blonde-haired and blue-eyed. And somebody asked her one time, why do you always write about these characters? And she was like, because that's all there is out there, you know? And just to see that, and I think for me, I don't know, especially having a husband that's, you know, a person of color, to see that, and he was so moved, so emotional about that. Like, it was just such a cool moment. So anyway, I think sometimes we don't think about those things. Okay, what about your favorite Christmas tradition with your family?
Well, we do Christmas Eve, and
so we do Christmas Eve at his house, his family, because that's how they do it in Venezuela, right? And then we do Christmas Day with my cousin.
Yeah.
And now, I'll tell you my favorite Christmas tradition that's just been the last 2 or 3 years, is that since my brother-in-law and his fiance, they live in San Diego out here, our family has gotten much smaller. And so, like, one of my cousin's stepsons has moved away. And so his mom now, and when whatever cousin is in town or whatever, comes over to Caroline, my cousin's house, for Christmas Day, and vice versa. And so it's really nice. Like, we're spending holidays together as a joint family. And it's really cool. And it's so funny because my cousin and her husband, they just, like, they love his mom so much. And we're all, like, in this group text together. And it's crazy. So
it's cute.
Yeah. So I love that. Okay. Anything else you want to add to that, babe?
That's it.
What would be your ultimate Christmas gift? Yeah, I would like to know this because
my ultimate Christmas gift?
We're getting down to the wire here.
Well, we're getting it. I mean, like, we're just a trip. I think a few years ago I told Peter that, like, you know, we both worked really hard, and, like, we just get what we want for what we want, or, like, not for what we want, we just get what we want when we want it. So, like, you know, I think that for us and for me, like, it's better to, like, gift each other, like, an experience or, like, a trip or something. So I mean, ideally for me, like, every Christmas would be, like, spent, you know, in a different location, you know.
So we're not, so I haven't shared this yet. I meant to tell him before we got on video a couple caveats of things I didn't want to talk about because I wanted it to kind of be a surprise, like I did on this trip, like, surprise, we're here. But after Christmas, after New Year's, all that, we're taking a trip somewhere that we have planned. We're very excited about it, but will remain a secret until I show up there, until we show up there.
Why are you bringing so much attention to it? It was just, we're going on a trip, that's it.
We're going on a trip. It's like that game you play. We're going on a trip to Grandma's house, and what do you bring? He doesn't like those games. Like, whenever I try to play those games, he's like, I don't bring anything, so I don't have to play this game.
Yeah, I always bring champagne. What are you talking about?
Somebody asked us, which gas station do you each prefer?
Whatever has the lowest price.
Okay, let's see. How did you know you found the one?
I'm still looking.
You're such an ass. Was there like no, seriously, like, what was the moment?
I mean, I don't really believe it.
And don't say in counseling, like, when it was like 8 years in or something.
No, I mean, I don't really believe that there's the one. You know, I think that there's 6 billion people in the world. I personally, at where I'm at today, I have someone that I love being with and that fulfills my, like, emotional and, like, and all my needs. So, like, you know, for where I'm at in my life, for this period, for the last 14 years, and hopefully for many more to come, we will continue to fulfill each other or learn to fulfill each other as that, you know, continues to change, because we change yearly. But is there, like, this, like, soulmate, you're only meant to be with, like, have one person? Like, I don't think that, because, you know, things happen in life, you know, like, I may get sick and no longer be here, or, like, whatever, so Peter just makes me happy for Peter just makes me happy for the person that I am today, and I will hope to continue to be. So, if he were to not be here, I would hope to just not be stuck with the idea that, like, oh, my one is gone and there goes my happiness. So, yeah, that's it.
It's been a tough year for us.
This is your fault. Okay, I'm not crying anymore.
I think it's made us very, very grateful for each other, you know. I do want to say this, and I've said this in other videos, that when I met Alex, I had this very fairy tale idea of relationships, and that, like, to meet my soulmate. And I remember I said to Alex, like, this was on, like, one of our first dates, and I said, do you believe in soulmates? Because I was like, oh my God, he might be my soulmate, right? And Alex goes, no, I don't really believe in it. So he was just like so cavalier about it. He was like, no, I don't really believe in soulmates. He was like, you know, I believe that.
I don't even believe we have souls. And he's like,
oh, Alex,
what?
Don't say that.
That.
You believe Boo Radley has a soul?
I believe he has the best personality ever.
Oh, God. Okay, so anyway. You're out of this video. So anyway, we miss little Boo Radley so much. I think I've checked on Boo Radley more than anything else since we've been on this little trip. But anyway, so I said to him, like, do you believe in soulmates? Because I was looking for my soulmate, right? And he said, because I very much believed in that, and I wanted to believe in that, you know? And he goes, no, like, very cavalier, like I said. He was like, you know, there's 6 billion people in the world or whatever at the time, and he was like...
Not 6 back then, but today, yes.
Whatever. He was like, there's so many people. It doesn't matter. Jesus. He was like, there's so many people in the world, blah, 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 whatever. And, you know, he was like, I think that it's, you know, we meet somebody at a certain time and we just get along and it's like we choose to share our lives together. And that's like an amazing thing. And I was so upset about it at the time. And I can remember I was like, God, like, he's not my soulmate, you know? And then, like, it really, like, I processed it. And I was like, this whole idea of choice, like, you know... We talk so much about marriage counseling. I mean, if you watch my videos, you know I'm like marriage counseling, marriage counseling, marriage counseling, marriage counseling.
Didn't you just say not to talk about marriage counseling? Like,
I didn't say it before the video.
No, like, don't say like, oh, because of marriage counseling, like I've been like, now you're the one.
No, but I know, but like what I'm saying is like, okay, so one of the greatest things I learned from marriage counseling, right, was that this was the previous time that we were in it, and we're like back in marriage counseling again. And a lot of people are like, oh, so did something happen? No, we
lost a lot grieving, and then
lost a lot grieving. And so at that time, my sponsor was like, after the accident, she said, you need to get into counseling. And so I got into counseling, and then Alex was like, could we use him as a marriage counselor? And so we did. And so Alex is seeing him individually. I am seeing him individually, and then we see him as a couple, and he's fantastic. The reason why we stopped originally was because our marriage counselor found his dream job, which we thought his dream job was to counsel us, but his dream job was actually to flip houses or something like that. So that's why we ended up stopping the first time. But we just really believe in marriage counseling as a way to improve your marriage. And I think anybody, you don't have to have any kind of problems going on in your marriage or your relationship.
I mean, regardless, you see a therapist for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
If you judge people going to therapy, then you should go to therapy.
So the first time, right, for that. So for the first time that we were in marriage counseling together, I remember our counselor, this was an individual session, said, what would happen if you and Alex didn't make it? Like if you guys got divorced? And I was like, oh, I would be devastated. I wouldn't be able to live and whatever. And he goes, okay, and then what would happen like the next day? And then the next day after that? And I was like, well, I guess eventually I would be okay. And he said, so eventually you would be okay if you and Alex didn't make it together. And I said, yeah, like eventually, I mean, I wouldn't want to imagine that, but eventually I would be okay. And he said, so you're not dependent, your self-value, your self-worth isn't dependent on Alex. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And up till that point, what I realized was that, I was just talking about this in another video that I did, I think my unpopular opinions video. Up till that point, what I had realized was that I defined myself by the men that I was in relationships with, that if I wasn't in a relationship, I didn't think that I was good enough, right? And so, for me, the fact that we pick each other, that I pick to be in a relationship with Alex and he chooses to be in a relationship with me, is really powerful. It's even almost more powerful than soulmate kind of stuff, I think. So,
sure.
All right, let's talk about, let's see up here. What's Alex's favorite Christmas movie, since we know yours? Mine's Smoky Mountain Christmas with Dolly Parton. I'm done now.
I don't really think I have a favorite Christmas movie. Mean Girls.
You're so silly. Random facts that Alex knows about current YouTube drama. Well, I will tell you this right now. We watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town the other day, and then last night we watched a Friends marathon, and right now we're watching the Home Alone marathon on TV. We didn't get tickets to Disneyland, and we're going to have dinner with his brother and sister-in-law later. We're going to Dana Point, so for all of you out there in Dana Point. But we couldn't get tickets to Disneyland, and so we decided just to kind of like have a romantical day in the hotel room. So anyway.
With y'all.
With y'all. Okay. Random facts that Alex knows about current YouTube drama. Well,
none.
First of all, is there any current YouTube drama? Is there anybody that you care about that I talked about?
No.
Somebody else asked if you ever watch my videos.
Only when I'm in them.
Only when he's in them. And then what he does is he watches them, but while he's watching it, he reads all the comments. So, okay.
I just want to like see my impact, you know?
Would you and Alex buy a house in California near Jesse and Fufu?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's our brother and sister-in-law. Well, soon to be sister-in-law.
And not a house, like a condo.
Yeah, I would. I mean, like, I don't know this area that well. They live in San Diego. Alex loves San Diego. He's been out here quite a bit to visit them. I would definitely buy a place out here. I mean, I think if we were going to do it, it would be not just for us. It would be so that my mother-in-law could, like, come out here when she wanted to visit and things like that.
Don't tell her that.
No, but I mean, like... She'll come and stay on somebody's couch for a month and be just fine, but I don't know that they are. So, like, I mean, it would be, like, nice for, like, my other brother and sister-in-law and their kids to be able to come out here and visit. I mean, it'd be nice to have a place out here, you know? I mean, especially, I think, if Fufu and Jesse are going to stay out here and raise kids. I mean, we don't really know that. If they haven't really talked much about that yet, so. Okay. Let's see. What's one thing you admire about one another?
I mean, I admire Peter's like wealth of knowledge and ability to like express himself and his feelings, and then kind of once those feelings are out, he then can see reality for a minute and accept it. So a lot of people I feel like a lot of people just tend to like be blinded by what they're feeling, be blinded by what they're going through, and then never express it, and then never allowed reality to kind of like sink in. Because sometimes our feelings like cloud or like shape our perception, and the more we hold on to those and not share, the more our perception continues to be clouded and not accurately shaped. So I admire that Peter can just basically like word vomit where he's feeling, and then like once that's out, he can be like, okay, like now I see that like it was just like I was angry or I was upset or I was excited, and then like listen to whomever else that, you know, that perception is like connected to or whatever, and then like reshape whatever he felt to begin with.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that feelings aren't facts, and not to make decisions based on feelings the way that I used to. I did do that for a very long time, but I don't want to do that as much anymore. A couple things I admire about you. Well, Alex is very calm, very peaceful. It takes a lot to rattle his nerves, like a lot. And I think that's one thing that I've gotten from him in the last couple years. I think the other thing is that Alex, like, he just doesn't, like, I mean, it just takes a lot. Like, you know, if I'm like, oh my God, I have this to do, and this to do, this to do, this to do, he's like, just get it done. Like, it's just, what's the big deal about it? You know, like, why are you stressing out about it? And I also appreciate his drive, because he's really driven about things, and he'll, you know, want to do this and do that and do this and do that, whatever. Okay. Let's say, hold on a second.
Holding. You should start playing like hold music when you say hold on a second.
I should.
You say it in all your videos.
Somebody asked us. Oh my Lord! Somebody asked us, what percentage of your combined income with Alex comes from your YouTube? That's a very specific question. Okay, it stopped at some point and I didn't even realize it, and Alex was like, okay, it stopped. But somebody had asked us a very personal question about what percentage of my YouTube income goes towards our like joint income or whatever. I think it's kind of a personal question, so I won't be answering that question. But I did want to talk about the financial piece because I think it's something that is important that I wish more couples would talk about it. You know, and I don't think that there's any one right answer to it. I think it's what works for you, which I know that's Alex's.
I mean, the answer is 50% because he makes his own money and he keeps his own money. I make my own money and I keep my own money, and then what we share and what our like commitment and expenses are together are split 50-50. So his YouTube income is 50% of our 100% joint spending.
Lord, that math is too high for me.
50-50.
It's too high for me. I can't figure it out. So, okay, backstory. In a previous relationship that I was in, I felt that I got burned financially after the fact. And so I had some resentment about that. So going into this relationship, when we decided, you know, that we were going to settle down and be together, I started asking friends of mine how they did their finances. I talked about this in my vlog a lot. This is no mystery, right? And so I had seen so many couples through the years, you know, friends of mine and whatever, that like they would fight all the time about money. It's like they would be like, oh, I want this bag, or oh, I want this lamp, and my husband doesn't want me to, or my wife doesn't want me to, and whatever. And I was like, I don't want to be in that relationship. And I don't want to be in a relationship where, you know, I mean, we would go to dinner with a couple and they would be like, well, when she spent $200, it was so uncomfortable, you know? And so, you know, a lot of my friends were like, I have my checking account, he has his checking account, we have a joint checking account, we pay all the bills together, and we split them down the middle, and then what he spends is his, and what I spend is mine, and we don't argue over that, and that's how we do things. And so, you know, my husband works very, very hard. If he wants to go buy something, he goes and buys it, and we don't argue over it. And I can't even remember the last time that we've ever argued over anything financially.
Yeah.
You know, he'll get a trip, I'll get a trip, he buys a meal, I buy a meal, we don't tit for tat it, you know, it just, I think there are so many things that are so serious that happen in the world and in relationships. To fight over money in a relationship really breaks my heart. It really makes me sad. And so I just wanted to remove that, you know, from our relationship. And I'm really thankful that we did. So anything you want to say about that?
I mean, we also like were able to like identify like what money means to us, you know, and like you know, for us it means two different things, you know. For Peter, it meant like some sense of security and comfort and safety. And for me, it meant like, you know, like success and achievement and, you know, also like independence. So, you know, knowing that like our definition of money is a little different also allows us to like make the decision and comfortably know that like, you know, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. And we're just sharing the experiences all along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, we do have conversations about money, too. Like, we were talking, okay, so we buy each other pretty extravagant gifts for holidays and birthdays. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
That I just won't shut up about a question.
Yeah.
But there was another question on there that was asking about, like, how much do we spend on each other for Christmas? We do usually go kind of overboard for holidays and birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that. And so I was looking at bags for him for Christmas. I was like looking at, like, he has a camera bag over there, a Gucci camera bag, and he really likes it. And so I was kind of like looking at that size of like Louis Vuitton bags, and there really weren't any. And then like it was like, there was one that was like $1,800 and the next one was like $3,800. And I was like, we don't, like, this is really overboard. And so we were talking about it the other day. And he was kind of like, I bought you a couple nice things, but like, you know, we were kind of talking about like price range or whatever. And I was like, well, I've gotten you a couple nice things too. And I said, let's just not go overboard. And he totally agreed.
It's always my approach. Well,
I just love to buy some.
Rewind 10 seconds or 10 minutes and like see that like I like would rather just do like an experience and like a trip gift to apparently a surprise destination.
But I do like buying really nice presents and things like that. But you know, so I said this year, I said like let's just do a couple nice small things, and you know, like we each have like an emotional present for each other. I'm kind of, he told me he got me something emotional, and I told him I got something emotional, and I'm kind of
the same thing.
I think it is going to be the same same thing. So, and so anyway, okay, let's go on and just answer a couple more questions. Okay. What did you order for dinner last night?
I got the lasagna and we shared a Caesar salad and I had a glass of Chianti.
Yeah, we went to downtown Disney. And and the Caesar salad, I asked the waiter, was vegetarian. Two places where did I go recently that they had a vegetarian salad. What was the other place that we went to? I can't remember. But anyway, I had the gnocchi and a Dr. Pepper and a water, and then we got a bread basket. You forgot about that. We went to downtown Disney. That downtown Disney place is like packed. Oh my God, it was a little overwhelming for me. And
then you didn't want to walk around because you had to run to the bathroom.
That is not true. It was like, okay, first of all, we walked all the way down and I like Google mapped this place and I was like, we were like hell and gone from downtown Disney, right? And so
we were literally under
downtown Disney. And so we go up to this parking garage place and this guy is so nice and he's like, so Alex goes up and asks him, we're trying to get to this restaurant. And the guy's like, you're not even anywhere near this place. You need to go all the way back. So we had walked, it was disaster. Anyway, let me just tell you, we've done
this a perfect example of Peter just like war vomiting his feelings and then like realizing like, okay, like here's the perception. He's like, well, Google Maps told us to come here, and I'm like, he's telling us.
I did not say it quite that way.
I'm like, he's telling us how to get there. Thank you so much, sir. And then we just walked around and he was like, he was very nice.
He was very nice.
I'm like, well,
he was very nice. He was a really nice guy. Anyway, oh, this is a funny question, because I know what you mean, but let's wait till you hear my husband's immediate response. Are you excited to grow old together? What was that meme that you saw on Instagram the other day that you were going to post about find an old man or something?
Something about like finding someone to grow old together, and then I realized that he was already old. And then he's like, don't share it. And I'm like, oh, fine.
I didn't say it like that, first of all.
You did.
No. Yeah, I love the idea of growing old together.
Well, yeah, because you have like a built-in nurse.
What about your wrinkles and all of that? Are you going to...
Do I have any?
Not yet. But you pay to not have that.
That's
oh my God, we got another question. Would you ever get a cat? Okay, let me go down here to the very... when are y'all coming to Vegas next? So that's a good question. We don't have any plans to go to Vegas.
Probably right August.
Yeah, probably August, maybe for our anniversary. Don't read that. I cannot believe that somebody asked us that one.
Read it.
No, I'm not.
Why?
It's horrible. Okay.
Is it sexual?
It's sexual and it's horrible. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. How to overcome financial stress that causes fights. Don't fight over money. It's not
Rewind
worth it.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think this might be it. Oh, this will be interesting. Advice for... Well, this will be what we ended on. Something very serious. Advice for queer kiddos and conservative families.
I don't have any kids, so I don't know.
Yeah, but your mom was kind of religious when you grew up. When you were growing up. She was like a devout Catholic.
She still is.
Did you worry about that in coming out to her?
I mean, I didn't really worry about the religion part of it. I don't think I really worried about... I don't think that I looked at anyone's... I was not worried about hurting someone's feelings or how I would come across to them. I was more worried about how I would feel with however they would react. Not knowing how they would react. I guess it was more of that. Like, it's not like I really concerned, like, well, I'm not going to tell this person because of what they believe or don't believe or whatever. It's more like, I don't want to tell, or like, I'm worried about telling this person because I don't want to feel rejected, or I don't want to feel let down, or I don't want to feel, like, shamed. And I guess I was probably just more, like, projecting my insecurities onto how they may reacted, or might have reacted towards me being a certain way.
Yeah, for me, it's... I don't know, it's hard because both of my parents were pretty liberal-minded, especially, you know, issues-wise. My mother was, you know, an activist and all that kind of stuff. And so, for me, like, I don't know, like, but I still worried about coming out. I still worried about what they were going to say. But, you know, I came out in 1990. And so I think for me, living from, I don't know, 1985 to 1990, knowing that I was gay.
Were you the first person to come out in the United States?
Shut up. But, no, I wasn't. But I knew that it was going to be difficult coming out to my parents. Like, just saying those words. I think sometimes one of the things that we don't talk about often enough is saying those words out loud for us as gay people, as queer people, is really difficult, you know? To just say, I'm gay, like, I can say it today all the time, but, like, in 1990 when I was 18 years old, to say, I'm gay, was really hard. Like, I just really couldn't wrap my head around. I don't know, like, it was like once I got past that, I could start saying it to people, but it was really difficult.
It's more about self-acceptance for me. I mean, I know everyone's different. I often wonder, like, what it would be like growing up today. And, you know, would it be the same? Would it be different? Would it be evolved? Would it not? You know, so for me, it's just about self-acceptance. There's a lot of things that, like, I need to come out about like myself, right? Like my self-image, like my self-worth, like my career, you know. And when we self-accept those things, then, you know, the conversation is completely different. But I think, you know, when it comes to, like, in my experience, coming out to someone that you care about is just, like, self-accepting who you are and understanding that, like, your self-worth is high, and then if the person who really is a good person to be in your life, then they will accept you no matter what. But the discomfort for me was, you know, the not knowing how they would react or how they would accept me on that. So
okay.
It's like a projection, I guess.
So real talk, advice to kids growing up in conservative homes that could possibly be kicked out or whatever. Real talk. Okay, my advice would be, having not grown up in that, find somebody that has grown up in that, would be number one. Number two, you know, I don't know what age group you're talking about, but if you're talking about wait until you're older to come out would be my recommendation. Look at safety issues, and by safety issues I mean, do you have health insurance? You know, do you have a place to live? Do you have food? Do you have medical care? Do you have education? Things like that, right? Like, I don't know that I would be willing to throw those things out, you know, and be living on the streets at 15 years old. I mean, I think, you know, one of the things that my mom said to me when I came out is that society is not kind to gay people, and she wanted me to be really, really safe. And I'm glad that I took that advice and didn't put myself in super dangerous situations, you know, and I think that I would love to think that we live in a world where, you know, if you went to your school counselor, that they would embrace you and find housing. That's just not the world that we live in. I wish it was. It's not. And so, you know, I think only come out when it's the right time for you, and that you have a safety net around you, and that includes support people that love you and care about you, that you can fall back on. And we all need that in life, you know? So I think that's it. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Thank you for being in the video with me.
You're welcome.
All right, until our next vacation, we will see you guys then. I love you, and yeah, out. Bye.